You know that feeling, right? That invisible force field that just pops up the second you try to do something important? Start a project, build a business, create anything. Well, today we're diving into Steven Pressfield's incredible book, The War of Art, to finally give a name to that enemy, and more importantly, to learn the battle plan to defeat it. Pressfield kicks things off with this huge idea. We've all got this other life inside us, this potential self that's just waiting to get out. But something is always standing in the way, right? A huge wall between the person we are and the person we could be. And that wall, it actually has a name. So, let's meet the villain of our story, resistance. And I want you to be clear, this isn't just you feeling lazy or unmotivated. Pressfield talks about resistance as this active, negative force. Think of it like a shape-shifting demon whose only job is to hunt down and destroy your dreams before they even have a chance to breathe. Okay, so if we're going to win this war, we have to know what we're up against. We need to learn to recognize resistance in all its sneaky forms. Because, let me tell you, it is a master of disguise. Do any of these sound familiar? I mean, of course they do. Resistance is that little voice in your head whispering, "You're a fraud," or "Who are you to do this?" It's that sudden, intense desire to go clean the fridge or just scroll on your phone for a minute. Anything but facing the actual work. And it can get pretty ridiculous. Pressfield tells this great story about a super famous author who, right when he was about to start a new book, suddenly felt this overwhelming need to try on every single piece of clothing he owned. See, resistance doesn't have to make sense. It just has to work. It just needs to stop you. And this is where Pressfield takes things to a whole other level. It's a really chilling thought. He argues that Hitler was, at his core, a failed artist. That resistance beat him so badly, his unlived creative life turned so toxic and bitter that it was literally easier for him to start a world war than to face a blank canvas again. That's how destructive this force can be when we let it win. Okay, so the stakes are incredibly high. We have to fight back. But how? How do you even begin to fight an enemy that's inside your own head? Well, the answer is probably the last thing you'd expect. And that brings us to the first major strategy. Instead of treating resistance like an enemy we have to run from, we're actually going to use it. We're going to flip the script and turn our greatest foe into our most trusted guide. So, think about this for a second. We usually think the opposite of love is hate, but it's not. The true opposite of love is indifference. If you feel nothing at all about a project, that's the real red flag. But if you feel this massive pushback, this intense fear, well, that means you actually care a lot. And this is the big secret right here. That fear, that anxiety, that powerful urge to run away, it's not a stop sign. It's a signpost. It's telling you that the thing you're trying to do really, really matters to your soul. The more resistance you feel, the more important the work is. So from now on, I want you to use that fear as your compass. When you're looking at a list of things you could do, don't just pick the easy one. Pick the one that scares you a little, or a lot. That fear is pointing you exactly where you need to go. It's your true north. All right, so we've got the new mindset. We know fear is our guide now, but let's be real. That doesn't just make the fight disappear. Now we need a practical, day in, day out strategy to actually win this thing. You've probably heard that old story about the two wolves inside of us, right? Well, it's perfect here. Every single day, you have a choice. You can feed the fear wolf, which is resistance, by putting things off, by avoiding the work. Or you can feed the courage wolf by taking action, by just doing the thing. And whichever one you feed is the one that gets stronger. So how do we feed that courage wolf? It's simple. You act like a pro. A professional doesn't sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. Nope, they show up. Same time, every day. They put in the hours, whether they're feeling it or not. The only goal is to beat resistance for today. And this is so liberating. You don't have to write the greatest novel ever written today. You don't have to build the entire business in an afternoon. You just have to show up, put in your 2 hours, and fight the good fight. Winning is just putting your butt in the chair. That's the victory. And then something amazing starts to happen. When you commit to showing up every day, you send a signal out to the universe that you're serious. And by doing the work, you turn yourself into a magnet. Ideas start showing up, the muse comes to visit, but she only visits when you're already at your desk working.
Now, I know this all sounds like a very personal, internal struggle, but Pressfield makes a powerful case that it's actually much, much bigger than that. Defeating resistance isn't just about you, it's about all of us.
See, when you give in to resistance, you're not just letting yourself down. You are actively robbing the world of your gift. You're cheating every single person who could have been moved or healed or inspired by your art, your business, your vision. The stakes are so much higher than just your own personal fulfillment. You have to start thinking of your work differently. It is not a selfish thing. It's not about your ego. It's not about getting attention. It is an act of service. It's a gift that you and only you can give to the world. And resistance is the only thing trying to stop you from giving it. So this is basically a direct plea from Pressfield and honestly from me to you. We need what you've got. We need your story, your idea, your creation. Please don't let that voice of fear and self-doubt cheat the rest of us out of your contribution. So I'm going to leave you with that one question. The war is fought every single day. The enemy is clever, but the battle is always, always winnable. You've got the map, you know the strategy. The only question left is, what gift will you give the world?